Welcome back to Yankees Unloaded. I'm Gary Sheffield Jr. That's my co-host, Jake Ellenbogen, Mr. JK Bogan, sponsored by Prize Picks. Your Yankees lose 3-0. We drop our finale in Arlington. Honestly, I don't know if I'm going to lose any sleep over this game. I mean, it kind of felt like 3 or 4 innings into the game. It's like, it's already been a pretty nice road trip for the boys. They've gotten the job done overall, but they were shut down today, their offense, by the veteran. And Jake, I don't want to say you called it, but you left the door open, right? Nate Eovaldi was really struggling for the beginning part of this season. And his fastball was just getting torched, right? Hitters had a 619 batting average off his four-seam fastball. That is 13 for 21. You don't see that ever. That is just something you don't see at this level of baseball. And he made a decision before the game started. I'm not going to throw that pitch. And sometimes it's as simple as that, to go away from something that's not working. And they were talking pregame saying, yeah, he's just been really frustrated with the four seam. Every time he throws it, it gets hit hard. Jake, all we saw, right? We saw 7 innings of shutout ball, 4 hits, 1 walk, and 7 Ks. You saw cutters, sinkers, changeups, and splitters. We looked foolish pretty much all night, except for Ben Rice, who we'll absolutely talk about tonight. I thought Ben Rice's at-bats continue to look brilliant. Elmer Rodriguez made his debut. My assessment, Jake, and we'll talk about this in depth of what we saw, but just on the surface level stuff, his stuff was electric, and he was playing around way too much, right? We saw the sinker. We saw the four-seam fastball. We even saw the slider that made its way onto Pitching Ninja with 22 inches of break. You don't see that type of action, especially sidearm crossfire. When you get that type of deception, and then you look at his stats, he's 6th in minor leagues, all of minor leagues, in ground ball rate. With our infield defense, that should really be good for the Yankees long term. And my assessment, when I said he plays around, you saw a lot of 0-2 counts today, Jake, where he was just, I'm going to waste a pitch. Okay, I'm going to try another chase slider. And before you know it, it was more of a rookie mistake. A lot of big league hitters found themselves in 2-2, 3-2 counts. There was a 3-2 count about 10 times, it felt like, today. And I think that's such a learning curve that, frankly, he should make that adjustment pretty quickly. So I'm not worried about that. Very fixable. And Jake, I know you were worried about it at the time. Jason Dominguez was hit by a pitch on the elbow. Obviously, he was replaced in the outfield, and I'll update you guys on who replaced him, because Jake wasn't so happy about who that guy was. And we have a little update on Garrett Cole in Somerset. He pitched 5 2/3, 3 hits, 3 runs, 0 walks, so he had his control, 3 Ks, 60 pitches, 45 of those were strikes. That was his 3rd rehab start. Most of you predicted he'd get 4 or 5, so interesting there. And we're going to discuss Grisham and the difference between actual statistics, like the ones that matter, and expected stats. The concept of luck, or is baseball more than luck? Is it something that hitters can control? I'm going to make the argument that hitters have more control than we probably think. And Jake really wants to discuss Spencer Jones. And I don't blame you, Jake, because we had to watch Max Schumann come out there and replace Jason Dominguez, obviously via injury. He was there for defensive replacement purposes. And we're going to talk about whether or not it's time Spencer Jones gets called up to not have guys on the roster like that. And do you risk having Spencer Jones not have full-time at-bats? Guys, if you're new here, make sure you guys subscribe, like the video. Is the best way you can support. Any and all super chats will make their way onto the screen if there's anything you really want us to discuss. So, Jake, let's start with Spencer Jones, because Spencer Jones, right now, we have a day off tomorrow, and we have no update whatsoever on Dominguez. Schumann found his way out on the field. He's clearly not there to make any type of impact. He's more of a plug-and-play in case of an emergency, and we had one today, and he played. What are your thoughts on Spencer Jones now? Because he's performing, right? He's starting to leave the yard often. Do you feel like now's the best time to give Spencer Jones the call?
Absolutely. I mean, if not now, when, right? You're telling me, you look at this lineup, and you're telling me Spencer Jones can't get to the big leagues. I mean, he's going to be 25, right?
Mm-hmm.
I believe May 14th, he'll be 25 years old. You DFA'd Randall Grichuk, which, by the way, I'm mad at you even now more because now I have to defend Randall Grichuk. But we'll get to that. Spencer Jones should have been the call-up beforehand. But now with Jason Dominguez potentially missing multiple games, Spencer Jones is the no-brainer. You have a guy in the lineup who's leading off who has an on-base percentage below 300. He literally is useless, and that's Trent Grisham. 151 average, barely a 600 OPS. But yes, let's make every excuse under the sun about why we can't call up Spencer Jones, who's homered 79 times in the minors in his career. Let's just make up the argument, a guy that has a 902 OPS. I don't care about his K rate. It's just, to me, it's all fodder at this point. It's the most regurgitated thing that is constantly brought up to discredit Spencer Jones. You lose all credibility in your argument the moment you put out Max Schumann. I have Max Schumann's numbers in front of me. This guy isn't good in the minors, let alone in the majors. I mean, understand this. He has had 234 games played. He's had 166 starts. He has a 603 OPS. Now, I understand that might be a big deal for the Yankees because that's 7 behind Trent Grisham right now. So clearly they must think he's great. But here's the problem. Schumann in the minors, right? We're talking about a guy who in his career is a 760 OPS guy. He hit 262. This year, he was hitting 203 with a 659 OPS. Maybe the guy who's in charge of all this is just a total freaking moron. And it literally shows up every single day. And honestly, I'm tired of it. See, this can't happen. We can't be accepting of this. This is complete dog water. Max Schumann isn't good in any level. And he is playing over Spencer Jones for reasons we don't understand. Because guess what? You called up ERC. You called him up today. So the argument about, oh, well, we're keeping ERC because we don't want to ruin his... Nope. You can't throw that argument out there. And Spencer Jones is ranked lower than ERC. So what's the excuse now? He's on the 40-man roster, literally won't cause anything there because he won't cost an option because he's on the 40-man roster. Jason Dominguez is potentially going to miss time. You DFA'd Randall Grichuk. There's actually no argument at all at this point, and I won't hear any argument. I won't take anything seriously in the realm that Spencer Jones shouldn't be call up because I'm sorry, Grisham's hitting 151. Max Schumann is just an absolute NPC out there. Like, he is not going to do anything for this team. It's actually just so unserious. It's embarrassing. It's honestly embarrassing that we're all excited. Jason Dominguez, all that. I texted you immediately. I said F. Eovaldi because I knew once he hit him, that was going to knock him out of the game. Potentially could knock him out for a few games and maybe longer. And the Yankees, God forbid, have to do something like calling up a prospect because literally that's what the farm system's for. Something like this happens, you can go to the well, and the well just happens to have one of the best sluggers in the minors. And you're like, I'm going to go with Max Schumann. Repulsive. Yeah. Absolutely repulsive.
Yeah, that's completely fair. I guess the question is, because this is what's really important. We're not in charge of calling up prospects. I think everybody gets that here. No one in our audience is responsible for what happens here. We're all just talking into the ether. But I guess the point is that if not now, what is the situation for Spencer Jones? Because ultimately you have to ask yourself, if Spencer Jones, in a situation where Trent Grisham is hitting 151, right? He's not performing. Then you have Cody Bellinger and Aaron Judge who are going nowhere, and rightfully so. What situation do you have better than the situation that there is today set up for Spencer Jones to make the roster? Because I want everyone to keep something in mind. Next season, well, at least I hope, Trent Grisham won't be on this roster, right? Now, if you look at our system, you'd say, well, that checks out because 2 of your top prospects are outfield prospects. So, and I'm talking Dominguez and Jones. Those are the 2 young players that really fit the mold if Grisham walks out the door. Okay, great. One's out the door. So where's the other going? And it seems like right now there's a situation where you could get both of them onto the field, and yet they're not going to make the decision to call up Spencer Jones. So now I really beg to question, how is next year's situation any different for Spencer Jones unless he moves positions? I frankly don't see that. And Ed W here, Jake has thrown this up on the screen. He said they DFA'd Grisham while he was on a mini heater. Now, mind you, my take on Grisham was different than yours, right? I said it made a lot of sense because of the role that Grisham's going to have. Grisham knows he's a role player, right? Yes, broadcast also mentioned this. They said sometimes when you're talking about putting a player on the bench, it actually can make your team better by putting a worse player on the team who knows he's a bench player. We talked about this comparison in the NFL. Sometimes it's better to not have Tom Brady as your starting quarterback and Peyton Manning as your backup because both of them are elite. You want to have a backup quarterback who knows he's a backup quarterback and never should be the starter. That's the perfect situation in the NFL. And so I think that's kind of what we're looking at here, where the Yankees are a little afraid that if they put the best, or the second best option out there for center field or left field, that somehow, some way it ruins the development of some of these young players. But I would argue one of the worst things we can do for their development is leaving them on ice to just beat up on minor league pitching. I would like to see guys be promoted for their play and not wait for the perfect time to get things figured out for them up at the big league level. But Jake, I wanted to kick something to you.
Real quick, though, on this.
Absolutely, go ahead.
This, to me, is exactly my issue with Cashman.
Okay.
I wanted Grisham DFA'd. I mean, every day I was like, I don't want this guy on my team.
You never wanted him, no.
But, I'm fair. If you produce, that's the quickest way to shut me up. And I'll even give you credit. And yes. Grisham was starting to produce, and now you DFA him. It's like, and you call up Schumann, who wasn't producing at the minor league level. He had a 203 batting average. It's like, I don't know what the hell this guy is thinking. Like, I swear, it's moves like this that just make me think this dude's on autopilot. And when they talk about why they call, he's an infielder that can play in the outfield. Oh, you mean to tell me like Rosario and like Caballero? And now Anthony Volpe's
you mean like Bellinger?
Up? Yeah,
Cody Bellinger can play first base. We have it's 3 or 4 about like Jazz Chisholm. We have guys. Anthony Volpe comes back in the next week. We have 5 different options we could describe to you just like that.
Oh, and by the way, to your point, because you're absolutely spot on. We've talked about that. It's great to know your role, right? I don't think I truly don't believe if Goldschmidt was like 32. This would not work. Goldschmidt's too good to be on the bench. It's because of his age. And he's okay with that, and the Yankees are okay with that.
Yes.
Here's the problem. If you're not good enough to even be like on the bench for an MLB team, that's when it becomes an issue. And right now, agree. The Yankees got worse, de facto worse. They don't have Stanton. Now they might not have Dominguez. You DFA'd Randall Grichuk when he was just starting to have, as Ed W puts, a mini heater, and now Max Schumann's there, who's an absolute nothing burger at the plate. I mean, his minor league numbers show that. We're going to be hard on Spencer Jones because he's not hitting 300 still, and he doesn't have 30 home runs, but he has a 907 OPS.
There's not enough contact, so people are criticizing it.
Yeah,
and again, we know what his weaknesses are, but I think it's a little ridiculous to mention someone's weaknesses before they've even got here when they're replacing somebody who has the same weakness, who happens to be hitting 151. Now, Jake, I want to bring something to you because your overhanging point here is that the Yankees are leaving too much meat on the bone down in the system.
Yes.
To make sure that everybody is in their designated roles, right? And I'm understanding of why they're doing what they're doing. I just don't agree with it. Now, here's the big catch. The Yankees don't think Trent Grisham's playing bad baseball, and I'll tell you why. Last season, the Yankees said, and this was the conclusion from Aaron Boone, and they're very clearly using Baseball Savant, no question. They're using other things, but Baseball Savant's one of them. And when you talk about fielding run value, Trent Grisham was bottom quarter of Major League Baseball in center field. They said the reason for that was because he was nursing a hamstring injury, which we covered on Yankees Unloaded, right? We covered it on this podcast. Now, having said that, he now has fluttered up. It's improved. So I'm going to mention that now on the show. His defense is now 48th percentile. Okay. So now Trent Grisham is almost by definition, league average defensive center fielder. Now that's improved. However, here's the real tricky part. Trent Grisham, as you mentioned, is hitting 151. His on-base percentage is below 300. He's by definition a bad leadoff hitter in terms of results. But Jake, here's the catch. His expected numbers are elite. And again, I'm not defending it. I'm just telling you what they think. And I'm not here to tell anybody like, oh, you're wrong or any of that, because ultimately you can't argue with people about what they want to use analytically. If you look at his expected slugging percentage, it's 448, right? His square up percentage is number 1 in the league. Nobody else squares up baseballs more often than Trent Grisham. His whiff percentage, something that people criticize Spencer Jones on all the time, they still do. Trent Grisham's is 85th percentile in the league. His walk rate is 97th percentile. And that is a guy who literally his only job is to reach first base in front of Aaron Judge. Now, having given you guys all of the context, he's still, in my opinion, not the best guy for the job. That's my takeaway. You can tell me that your expected numbers are really good, but Jake, I'm going to treat him just like I treated Ben Rice last season. I'm going to tell you, your job is not to have good expected numbers. It's to have good numbers in production. We don't pay guys based on what they're expected to do. It's about what they're actually going to do. And so the way I look at this now is that we're basically chalking up Trent Grisham the bad luck, and we're continuing to compile mistakes as far as how we utilize our young players. And ultimately, overall, Jake, my final takeaway is that I'm pretty pleased. Like, I'm pleased with the fact that we trusted Cam Schlittler in the biggest stages in the world in baseball, right? Put him on the field. I'm glad we trusted Will Warren instead of going the veteran route and just trying somebody and seeing what they do in New York. We trusted these guys. ERC got the call when I didn't expect him to, right? All this is good stuff. But then we have the opposite side of the coin where Spencer Jones, who clearly is a top 4 outfielder in our entire system, and he can't find the field. I don't understand the logic, and I don't know how it makes the Yankees a better baseball team. But I guess all in all, Jake, we are winning at a really high clip right now. We're a pretty good baseball team. Pitching staff is dominant. So I'm assuming some people are going to overlook this as not being a big issue, but I think it's a big enough issue to suggest that when a player at that level is playing that well, I should see him in pinstripe. So I hope that happens soon.
Yeah, I mean, you know, there's Ahmed Rosario who has an expected slugging of 574. But look at that. It's an actual slugging, like real life, like not video game, not like imaginary fantasy land, Delulu land, a 526, which, by the way, only 2 others have a slugging over 500. And that's Aaron Judge and Ben Rice.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't want to, crap on Boone, because I actually think Boone has given, to give Boone credit, I mean, like, Schlittler has, to your point, pitched in those games. That's Boone. I really do believe that. I don't think Cashman has the day-to-day. I think Cashman decides who gets called up, and Boone just manages with what he has. But that said, I don't think Boone called up Schumann. I think Cashman called up Schumann.
Correct.
Because for whatever reason, and it's so funny, I see all this stuff on social media about how, it'll be next year for Spencer Jones. That they're telling us he's going to be the outfielder next year when Grisham's gone. That is bullshit. It's absolute bullshit. What they have told us is that we give them too much credit. They're not holding on to him for a trade. They're not holding on to him for next year. This reeks of the fact that this organization doesn't know what to do with a first-round draft pick that's actually developing in the farm system, has shown them like next level power. and has put together an above average to really good glove in the
Are they
outfield.
saying Spencer Jones next year is going to start? Is that what you're suggesting?
Oh, I don't know what Spencer Jones is going to do because I don't think the Yankees even know.
Because ask yourself this: where could
idea.
Where could he possibly start? Right? Where possibly? Jason Dominguez, if he actually gets a starting job, let's just give him a starting job right now and assume that Jason Dominguez is the best guy for the job over Trent Grisham. Right? Got it. We put him out there. Cody Bellinger, Jason Dominguez. I don't think Aaron Judge is going anywhere. Where's Spencer Jones going? Oh, we throw him over to first base. Oh, so he can play over the guy with the 1,200 ops? Yeah. Oh, we can just move Ben Rice over to catcher because Austin Wells isn't hitting or whatever. Like I've told you guys before, there's a trickle-down effect of the decisions that the Yankees are making, and they're trying to find the perfect fit for Spencer Jones. They believe the best fit for Spencer Jones is to be a starter over 162 because he's a power hitter. That's why.
By the way, you know what? I want to throw out something here. I hung out with a friend I haven't seen in a while, and we were talking about traveling overseas and how I was like, in the next 3 years, I really want to take my girlfriend and I to Japan. And he said, you know what? When you're traveling overseas, you're leaving the United States, you're traveling internationally. He's like, it's all about pulling the trigger. Just go. Just do it. Don't think about it. Just do it. Obviously, he's like, you have to plan it. But he's like, the more you think about it, it's like you're missing out. You only have so much time to do that. Then you're going to have kids. Sorry, Gary. Then you're going to have kids, and then it's
I can't go anywhere.
Yeah, it's harder to do that, right?
Yep.
I thought that was a really good analogy because it's like the more you think about the perfect thing, as you've mentioned, right? You think about, oh, this has to be perfect. This has to set up life and sports. Nothing's perfect. You didn't know Giancarlo. Well, maybe Brian Cashman did. You didn't know when Giancarlo was going to go down with an injury, right? You didn't know that Jason Dominguez was just going to get hit in the forearm on like the only fastball that Eovaldi threw all day. You didn't know that. These are things you didn't know. You also didn't know Cam Schlittler was going to turn into your ace. You also didn't know Garrett Cole was going to need Tommy John. You didn't know that Carlos Rodon was going to have a bone chip in his elbow, right? You didn't know that. Like you don't know. You didn't know that Luis Heel was going to come back from Tommy John, turn into the Rookie of the Year, and then fall off a cliff. You didn't know, I don't care what anyone says, when you drafted Aaron Judge, he was going to be the best player in the league. Here's the problem. When you try to find the perfect fit for anybody, that's when shit goes south. Everyone remembers Aaron Judge was called up the exact same day that they DFA'd A-Rod. The exact day. That was like the transfer, right? If they waited any longer, who knows what would have happened? They just did it.
Well, you're also, to be fair though, you're assuming that the Yankees are waiting for the perfect time to call him up. I'm actually going to make the opposite argument. I actually don't think the Yankees have a plan to call up any of these guys, not even a single player.
That was what I was saying. But then you had mentioned like, maybe they want like the perfect situation.
Yeah, maybe. But you're saying that they don't.
I'm actually saying you that gives them too much credit. I don't think they actually have any idea what they're doing.
Because let's list them off, right?
Yeah.
Cam Schlittler. Let's just start up from the top. He's the best person we've called up in this organization in God knows how many years outside of Aaron Judge.
But why was he called up?
That's the point I'm going to make. He was called up because Clark Schmidt went down with an injury. We replace him. Okay, great. Cam Schlittler comes up here. Can anyone remind me again? Ben Rice, the second best player in this organization right now. It's not even close. Why was he called up again? Because Anthony Rizzo, was it because he retired or was it because his contract ended? Could you guys refresh my memory in the comments? What happened to
that
Ben
base
Rice?
Running incident.
Oh, that's right.
Against the Red Sox.
Anthony Rizzo ran into the guy at first base and broke his arm. Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting. They didn't call him up because they were like, oh, he's just raking and it's his time. No, he was the next guy. In all, he was an option. Spencer Jones is an option. If Cody Bellinger went down or if Aaron Judge went down with an injury like 2023, the Yankees have depth in their farm system and Spencer Jones and Jason Dominguez, obviously not today, that they can call up those two prospects and they would utilize them. But I think right now as it stands, if Trent Grisham stays healthy, Bellinger, Judge, right? And now Dominguez, I don't think it matters how Spencer Jones plays. I think ultimately they don't call him up for that reason. And if they go into next year and Jason Dominguez looks the part, Spencer Jones won't be there either. They're just going to simply hold on to him until there's a situation where there's an injury and they're forced to. And that is an interesting way to go about your business, because at the end of the day, Jake, I guess my point, I think the Yankees doing business this way is actually really good to raise your floor as far as how low it can go, right? Because if Spencer Jones goes out there, he can get hurt. Obviously ridiculous to say it would, but all in all, we're in a situation now where almost we can go down with like Jason. We can have like Giancarlo Stanton go down with an injury, and we just have another player waiting in the wings to just come in because he's a starter. So really weird.
I
happy about the way the team's playing, but it's strange.
I mean, we'll think about that. Like, Was it McGonigal, the guy that was called up for the Tigers to start the season? Sure. He's one of the best players already at his position. It's not even like remotely close.
Yeah.
Well, like the Yankees, if they had him, wouldn't have played him. And I'm pretty sure, isn't he a third baseman?
Yeah, I know what you're saying, because like when you're mentioning prospects from other organizations and you're like, well, they did what I'm claiming the Yankees should do here, and like maybe it can work for us in the same way. I think you have a point. The problem is that the Yankees, with their budget, and their budget's still high, it's over $300 million. They have like players that they're paying big money to, right? Like Trent Grisham's a big money player right now. So the Tigers don't have that problem where there's a player making $30 million at the position, and then a young player, they're like, well, he's the best player for the position, he's going to play. They just don't have that situation. More times than not, a lot of those organizations that have a major come up rookie out their system, they pretty much clear the deck for that player, and he arrives and they're like, oh, everyone at the stadium that day, his major league debut. Whereas for the Yankees with their prospects, ERC has been lighting it up, and he showed up on an emergency injury start. So
yeah,
just a different way to utilize prospects. I'm not sure if it's a horrible system, but I think all in all of what we're trying to build, I think this is kind of how they intended to do it.
ERC was actually how you use prospects, because Heel didn't get sent down. Well, he wasn't like out of the rotation because of injury. He got sent down because you can tell his confidence is underwater, right? He's not Luis Heel that won.
That is true. I appreciate that, because I appreciate you correcting me there, because that actually this is a good part. Brian Cashman actually did his job well in that situation, right? Luis Heel's not pitching well at all.
But you can't have multiple positives, Gary. That's not how it works. The Cashman experience is, well, I'll give you Elmer Rodriguez, but I have to hit you with two pathetic call-ups.
Yeah,
Max
we just
Schumann
mentioned all of them on the show.
Jake Bird.
Yes.
Why on God's green earth is Jake Bird on this team? He has never shown the ability to pitch for the Yankees. He doesn't work, okay? Nope. You had no issue. And look, I'm not saying I'm a big Luke Weaver fan. I've said it over and over again. They squeeze that orange till they pop, you know. But that said, you let Luke Weaver go without a hitch, right? This guy was lights out for you in the World Series season, right? Just he came up huge at the end of the season. They were quick to move off him. They were quick to move off Devin Williams, who was definitely improving, at the end of the season. Even took some, jabs in the media to him.
Well, I guess thank God we did. Devin Williams has been horrible.
Well, yeah, but Jake Bird, dude.
Yeah.
Jake Bird just throws cement mixers. I can't stand watching him. He doesn't work. And here's the thing. I'm not just, sitting here moping, complaining and all of that, right? I'm not complaining because I just don't like this and I don't have it. Because my biggest thing, Gary, in sports, fans are going to fan. I get that. We're all fans, whatever. My biggest thing is you will never catch me saying I have a problem with this and not applying a solution. I will always give a solution to back up why, because otherwise you're just yelling into the, if you don't have a reason, your dialogue doesn't help. Like, let's just say for a second, not saying we're this powerful, but let's just say for a second they're actually listening and they actually did have a pulse on the fan base. if that was the case, wouldn't you feel really stupid to just yell into the ether and not actually bring up solutions? This
Because
is
you
my
can't just
thing.
say call up Spencer Jones and
Yeah.
then not provide, because there are side effects to it, right? When you
Mhm.
bring up Spencer Jones, just as an example, I asked you earlier, what would be the role of Spencer Jones? And for you, you would say, well, I want to play him. That's the point. Okay,
Yeah.
great. Where does he play? So let's just assume you throw him out to center field because that's his native position.
Yep.
Well, then what is Jason Dominguez doing?
Well,
What is his job?
yeah. So what's going to happen for now, I can tell you, right? Because I mean, obviously when Stanton comes back, you figure that out, but Stanton's not
Yes.
back yet. So Jason Dominguez is either going to be my DH or he's going to be my left fielder. Then I'm going to have Cody Bellinger at first. I'll have Judge in right. And if I do have Jason Dominguez in the outfield, then it gives me that kind of extra option at DH where I can play Rosario. However, if I don't do that and I decide to have Bellinger, because, think about it, you're talking about like a top-notch outfielder. I mean, I call him a 5-tool player because I really do believe him to be one.
Well, yeah, he's our best outfielder.
Yeah, so if that's the case, then totally fine. Dominguez is your DH. But me personally, that's what I would do. And the way I see it, like this whole Jake Bird thing, like, oh, well, you don't like Jake Bird, who are you calling up then? Because you got to give a name. And to me, it's obvious because unlike Cashman, when he calls up Max Schumann, who isn't even producing in the minor league level, I'm actually looking at the minor leagues every single day. I'm always looking at options. And Giovanni Cruz is the most obvious option. Okay. In 11 innings, he has a save. He has 17 strikeouts. He has a .73 whip. He has a .82 ERA. He's 4-0. What are we doing? This isn't hard. This really isn't that hard. Guys that are actually producing, and oh, by the way, it is hard. But Gary, he's not Alan Winans. He's not throwing 89-mile-an-hour fastballs. We've talked about this guy can touch 100. He's got really good stuff. We saw him in the minor leagues, or not the minor leagues, the spring training. He dominated spring training. Like, what are they missing? To me, this is just a no-brainer that, and what's really concerning and why I think people are so critical of Cashman is that anybody and their mother can see this. They can see this. You can go on MILB.com /player /Giovanni-Cruz -672442. Right? There you go. I know. I hate that. They
might as well just make those. What do they do when we go to restaurants now? The QR code. They may as well make that URL bar the QR code at this point.
So I guess really like my entire point is that all of this is available in 2026. It wasn't as easy back in the day. I'm not saying when we were kids we still had the internet. Let's not age ourselves more than we are.
Not nearly as accessible. We didn't have apps on our phone.
No,
that could tell us
that's
the
thing.
analytics of minor leaguers.
I could ask some like my 8-year-old cousin, right?
Yeah.
And just be like, hey, can you look up Giovanni Cruz, his minor league stats? And that cousin could absolutely do that. Anybody who knows how to use a phone could do that. You could literally use AI. That's the thing that's so pathetic, is that we're talking about a guy that we know is succeeding in the minors. Yeah. We know what he is. I mean, I don't understand how Jake Bird is ever an option. And then the fact is, the only reason Jake Bird's an option is because Brian Cashman didn't do enough for his bullpen. He actually either didn't do enough, which I still stand by, or he's even more guilty because he literally thought Jake Bird was going to turn it around and be this great piece. So he didn't.
I don't think they thought that. I don't think he thought that Jake Bird. I think they know Jake Bird's not working out. However, if I had to like really define what Cashman thinks he's doing right now, I believe he thought going into the season with Cole for sure coming back this year, Rodon expected to be there. With what Schlittler was, what Rodon, what Fried was coming into the year, they have a surplus in the rotation, and they probably assumed we're going to be able to win games. We usually get off the fast starts. Typically we do, and we're off to another fast start now. They're more than likely going to hit a snag around June and hopefully solve it in July, right? And they probably just assume if there's holes, we'll patch them then. The rest of the league's flawed. Toronto took a step back in their opinion, right? And so far, they're off to a pretty slow start. They're under 500. They're floating around 500. So I guess the point is that you don't really have to be that proactive in order for us to go back where they really intend to go, which is kind of just to be around the dance. But Jake, I think your point of like what to do with Spencer Jones, what to do with Jason Dominguez, and you're trying to be very proactive. That's the way I describe it. Aggressive with the system. If you're playing well and you're at the top of the system, congratulations, you're part of the show. We want to see your game at the big league level, but it's not that simple to this system. We have a system in place, and the system is you're going to be called up to be a role player. You're not going to be called up with an empty slot. We've only done that once, and that was for Anthony Volpe. We had a player by the name of Isaiah Kanafalefa, and he was at shortstop, and he was called on the broadcast for 162 games as a placeholder shortstop. We have never done that. Never. We quite literally, Jason Dominguez was our top prospect. We make it seem like we have no room for him. Spencer Jones right now, he's throwing up big time numbers. No room for him, right? ERC, they would tell you there's no room for him. Jack Curry just this morning said, well, if I'm going to give my assessment of what I think is going to happen, even if ERC pitches well, he gave a list of his 5 starters. ERC was nowhere to be found. So if you're a young player, you're looking at yourself going, what role do I actually have on this franchise? It doesn't seem like there's a role anywhere. So just an interesting organization. I don't know to really complain about it because ultimately we're winning baseball games. But in my estimation, if the Yankees are going to get over the top, they're going to need production from some of these guys in their system that can replace, in my opinion, just regular season at bats that Trent Grisham really is. I don't see Trent Grisham as this big postseason at bat that I want to see. I'm not sure if I want to see what's going on in our infield in a Ryan McMahon in a postseason setting again. Now, again, he played well last postseason, but do I trust his bat and what he's done over his career to take those postseason at bats? Not really. I'm more interested in seeing what the ceiling looks like of George Lombard Jr. and seeing how quickly we can get him here, because ultimately how quickly we get him here might dictate our success altogether. So, I want to make sure people understand that I'm not even complaining really. I'm trying to explain why I think they're doing what they're doing and why I think it's impractical for us to think they're calling up Spencer Jones, because I don't think that's even on the table as of now. And Jeff, thank you for the 5. Says the worst part is watching Cab, and he's obviously talking about the lineup because Jake, ultimately you want Grisham out of the lineup and you want to replace him with somebody out there who's playing well. The difference in I think the issue here that you're going to have and that I'm going to have, our audience is going to have, is that the Yankees believe that Grisham's playing well. He's just unlucky. Whereas you're looking at the numbers and what he's doing literally and trying to draw a conclusion based on what he's actually doing. And so that's our disparity right there. If the Yankees think he's playing well because he's hitting the ball hard and walking a lot, well, we're not going to get what we want anyways, are we? So Jeff says the worst part is watching Cab get on base and then Trent, who's obviously at the leadoff position, be the third out over and over, bat Rice at leadoff and Aaron Judge at 2. In my opinion, I think the best course of action for the Yankees, am I going to complain if Ben Rice is leading off? Absolutely not. But having said that, I know people are going to say he's a run producer. The Los Angeles Dodgers let off Ohtani for years. They know he's a run producer, but they figure who better to start the game off than our most deadly weapon in our lineup, who's got speed as well. So I would probably put Ben Rice in my 2 slot and move Judge to 3. I know Judge likes to hit third, so that's probably what I do and try to figure out if Caballero can lead off. I make it an open tryout. Give me Caballero, right? Give me Rosario and see what those guys can do at the top of your lineup. And if they stick, the lineup's a lot better than what it currently is.
No, I definitely think that's fair. I look with Caballero, you're absolutely right, and you're wasting his speed when you have Trent Grisham at the plate because he just honestly just sucks right now. He's 151 average. We're talking about. So
you don't care about expected stats? I take it.
Oh, I don't give a rippity doodah about expected stats. I will say. It's funny. I saw a comment like, can you imagine if this was in the NBA and the NFL? Oh, it is. It is. But you know what? EPA in football, it's not the end all be all doesn't tell the full story, but also people in the NFL don't use just, expected stats to provide their entire argument. They use it a little bit. I don't think they're anywhere near as bad as like the analytic psychos in baseball that literally will be like, but his waffle and his Sierra, it's like, shut the hell up. But EPA in the NFL is actually a really common thing, and it can measure a lot because it's expected points added. And so what they do is they have like the fractional or decimal way of awarding points per like a play. So like if there's a really good play that like a receiver makes or whatever, expected points added is like 0.0023 or whatever.
Okay, so this is like WAR of a play, of an individual play.
Yeah, I mean, kind of. So yeah, I mean, like that gives you some interesting data because what they're doing is they're actually using the tape to decide this, right? And also think about this. It's also not perfect. So I've seen EPA that is like a perfect score. I've seen EPA that's a really bad score. And the really bad score, by the way, ended up being a touchdown. And the perfect score was not a touchdown. It was actually an interception. But it doesn't measure like it's expected. So what did you do as your job on the field? Not the overall result, because you can't control the result. If I blocked perfectly and my quarterback threw a duck and it got picked off, but if you blocked horribly, then the quarterback rolled out and threw a bomb into the end zone, like you still didn't do well. So your EPA shouldn't be higher. So
no, I completely agree.
That's the
stats
thing.
should matter for something. They should.
Yeah. So I think that's the thing is like, yeah, the NFL does have, and I don't know about the NBA's analytics, but I know EPA well because I've started to use it more in my NFL data. But that said, the expected, I mean, it's hit them where they ain't, and I know I mentioned this about Austin Wells, but Austin Wells, who started his like that rookie of the year campaign season, started off like horrendous luck, right? I mean, we're talking about probably the most unlucky hitter I've ever seen. Like it was insane. Everything was 100 off the bat, right at a guy.
And I still never subscribed to it. I absolutely hated the whole argument.
Yes, but then it turned around and it started to look like I was on to something, right?
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Austin Wells' at-bats were good. They were good.
Yeah,
I don't like Trent Grisham's at-bats. I actually hate them. He pops out to the catcher more than I've ever... Like, why is that happening?
I don't know. Can I ask you a question?
I can't stand him.
If you had a choice between two players, right? So mind you, because somebody asked me this question on Twitter, they said, hold on a second. If you hit the ball 100 miles an hour off the bat, that's a successful at bat, no matter where the ball goes. Okay. That was their takeaway. And I knew what they were trying to say, and I get their argument. Because ultimately, the first part of the job, you figure, I want to hit the ball hard. I'm just going to hit the ball hard, and then things will work itself out. But at the same time, if you watch some of the best hitters in the game, right? You watch Tony Gwynn, you watch Ichiro Suzuki. Ichiro Suzuki wasn't hitting the ball 115. And each and every year of his career, somehow, some way, never unlucky. Never unlucky. Tony Gwynn never was. He was a 340 hitter every year. And never hit 265.
Well,
never, not one time. And people want me to believe that Tony Gwynn would have been a better baseball player.
No.
If he was, I don't know, you can just say, well, if Tony Gwynn's max exit velocity was 106 miles an hour, Giancarlo Stanton's is 120. Giancarlo Stanton must be a better hitter because he hits the ball harder and more often that hard. And so you would just make the assumption based on the analytics that player who hits the ball 119 must be much better. Wrong. Tony Gwynn is a better baseball player because of the skill set and hand-eye coordination to hit the ball where the fielders are not standing. That's the job. So that's why last season, when you made the argument about Wells and Ben Rice, and you said, well, how hard they're hitting the ball, their chase rates, and you're mentioning all these different things about how we can possibly predict who's going to play well in the future. That's technically what analytics are for. Now, having said that, we're looking at Ben Rice and I'm like, it's good that Ben Rice is hitting the ball hard to the warning track. It feels like every other game. That's a good thing because it feels like we're close to something great. But I told you this first and foremost, Jake. That's not the job, to hit the ball hard at fielders or just anywhere. This isn't some other sport. This is baseball. It doesn't count for anything unless it goes into the stands or on the outfield grass. Nothing else matters. So ultimately, and the point that you're making, and you were making this earlier, I can't just judge you based on your expected numbers. Oh, you hit the ball hard and the center fielder made a good play. What can you do? Eventually, over a larger sample size, your luck should even out. That's what I'm telling you. You can't chalk up a bad baseball season to bad luck. I don't believe in it. I just don't. Maybe some of you do. I don't subscribe to that. I just don't. You can tell me, Jake, and I think you can make a fair argument. You can have an unlucky series. You hit a ball 120 twice, it's caught. But once you start stretching out at bats 30, 40, 50, 60 at bats into a season and going into last year as well, the last month and a half, and you want to tell me that they're unlucky for 3 months? I don't buy it, Jake. I'm out.
He has 14 hits and 93 at bats.
Excuse me? How many at bats?
93. He has 14 hits.
Now, mind you, 90 plus at bats that Jake just gave you guys the data. There's no analytic to that. You get 90 plus at bats. Don't they tell us all the time that players, oh, he can't play in October? Oh, well, how many bats is the sample size? Isn't it usually like 20 max?
Yeah. So like, I mean, based on that, in those 20 at bats, Ryan McMahon had a really good playoff and Trent Grisham was horrendous. But like now, I think we all collectively agreed Trent Grisham was terrible, and a lot of others were terrible in the playoffs.
And how many at bats did he have again?
I mean, he had like 20.
You like to make the joke. You're like, he probably got 11 at bats.
Yeah, but like,
I love
dude,
that.
93 at bats, and he's got 14 hits.
And
See,
we're
I'm going to stop saying
bad luck,
151.
Guys.
I'm going to stop saying 151. I think that gives him too much credit. 151 gives him. He has 14 hits in 93 games. I mean, there should be angry mobs outside of Hal's office. This can't happen. It can't. You said, oh, well, he's almost an above average outfielder or almost an average outfielder. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah. And so, by the way, Toronto, nobody cares about those analytics people. You know why? Because those analytics people you talk about, they all go on Twitter and do the tribalism thing where, oh, we ratioed you and did all this stuff. And then they start their podcast and nobody watches it. You know why? Because normal Yankees fans and baseball fans, they don't rock with it. They just don't. Analytics has a place in the game. It does. It's a fact.
We do not care.
Not care. Analytics has a spot in baseball, NBA, NFL. Every team uses it every single day. But when you use analytics to construct every single argument that you've got and to defend players who aren't getting it done over 90 plus at bats and then making it seem like everything is chalked up to luck, it's just flat out not a good baseball argument. And more importantly, Jake, it's not fun to talk baseball with those goobers.
Well, and can I just also say something like kind of to your point?
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Judge does not hit the ball the same way like Rod Carew did, right? And Rod Carew sacrificed power with that swing and the whole motion, everything, because he was a slap single hitter. He sacrificed that because he knew what he wanted to do. He had an approach. That was his plan, and he knew to hit them where they ain't, right? And because of that, he was really dangerous as a slap single hitter, right?
Yes.
And then you have Tony Gwynn. His job is, I'm not going to strike out. It won't happen. Ichiro, I'm faster than lightning, okay? I just need to be on the base paths. Yep. And I'm going to literally have the only batting stance you've ever seen where he has a head start running, like in his stride.
You only see it in softball. And he did it in Major League Baseball. It was incredible to watch. So entertaining. By the way, do you know, little quick trivia for you, do you know who hit more home runs in batting practice than any other baseball player I've ever seen in my whole life? And mind you, I've been in person to see thousands of batting practices. Ichiro Suzuki.
I always had, like, I actually have this theory, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not Caballero, because I've seen him when he gets a hold of one and it barely goes over the wall.
Yeah.
But I think most of those speedsters, they'd be really surprising to people how much power they have. I always felt like Brett Gardner could hit like 40 home runs. Like, I'm not saying he would go for 40.
I felt like he could have been what Trent Grisham's doing right now, where he's very clearly, he has a mission. And I think the mission makes sense of what he's trying to do. Not that I love it, but he's making the game plan. My job is I hit in front of Aaron Judge. My job is to walk or score on the swing. That's it. That's a successful at bat. And I'm also not going to steal ahead of Aaron Judge. It changes the way he's pitched. I believe Brett Gardner, instead of hitting 275 for a season, I think Brett Gardner could have given me 204 in the middle of his prime and hit 35 bombs. I believe it, because ultimately it's a choice. Don't you guys think that Jazz Chisholm's giving up some of the contact game to choose to play the way he's playing? Of course he is. Do you need me to tell you that Jazz Chisholm wants to hit for power? Look at his swings today, guys. If you don't believe me, turn on YouTube right now. There's a recap of the game. Look at the swings Jazz Chisholm, and I'm not here to bash on Jazz. It's his choice of how he wants to play. He's the big leaguer, not me. He is taking home run swings on 0-2 splitters from Nate Eovaldi.
You're so right.
And he's fouling off pitches with a swing on 0-2. And normally you're like, oh, you're going to be fighting to foul off pitches and taking a contact swing, right? Like Gleyber Torres, no stride. I'm trying to put the ball in play. Jazz is trying to do damage. 0-2. To your point, there are a lot of contact players that are just choosing to play the game that way. And there are a lot of guys playing the power game who shouldn't be playing the power game.
No, it's so true. And I think a lot of that is like, these are MLB hitters. You don't think that like the guy that hits 8 home runs couldn't hit 40? I'm sure he could.
He could hit high teens, I would say. Somebody who hits 8 home runs, I would say they can go high teens. I'd say high teens.
Now, I'm not
you're
saying
talking
Chandler
about
Simpson
doubling.
Could, but
no.
But there are guys that definitely sacrifice the power for that. I mean,
yes.
The way I see it, and people are going to disagree with this, but if you really think about it, he's been out there 3 free agencies in a row, it feels like. Luis Arias is honestly the perfect leadoff hitter for the New York Yankees. Perfect. Because all that guy does is single, and people looked at that as a knock, right?
Yes.
And we've already, talked about how like we don't really care about defense as much as we used to, because we just want hitting at this point. Arias almost guarantees that Judge is coming up with a guy on, and he's not that fast, so you don't have to worry about him stealing. It's actually the most perfect situation. I mean, Stephen Kwan would be like a dream, right? But Arias has been available like every year, and they just continue to be like, no, we're not gonna grab him, but then go after guys like Ryan McMahon and Trent Grisham, and it's just like, I'm just being honest. I don't think Arias is the greatest player ever, but for the situation, he'd actually be the perfect leadoff hitter for the New York Yankees, because they always put Aaron Judge second, and then at third, they always put Bellinger. So I honestly think that would be the perfect situation, and that's what they're missing.
You're probably I think the reason you're coming to that conclusion, and I really do agree with you. Not that like Arias is necessarily the player I would have wanted through the door, but a player more so of the build where it's like his only mission isn't walk, home run. My thing is this: you're waiting a single more than a walk, which to the Yankees and their analytics department is they disagree. They disagree.
I mean, right now Grisham isn't doing anything, so.
Of course, but the way the Yankees look at it is if the baseball game starts, and this is technically true, and let's just say you have head-to-head, you've got Grisham and Arias hitting in an at-bat, technically speaking, at the end of this baseball season, if all things go normally, Trent Grisham will have a higher on-base percentage than Arias. Reason being, Arias has a ton of hits, but he never walks, right? Never walks. So having said that, the Yankees feel like, well, if his on-base percentage doesn't match Grisham's, with Judge hitting behind you, Grisham's the better player for the job. I don't agree, and here's why. That only matters for the first inning. What about the third or the fourth inning? when all of a sudden Jose Caballero finds himself on base, or someone at the bottom of your lineup gets in scoring position and Trent Grisham gets up there, what's Trent Grisham trying to do again? Homer or walk? That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to have my leadoff hitter be able to hit. So I think that's the disparity that we have. It's not too much of a problem for the Yankees because ultimately we're getting carried by our pitching staff anyways. But I think these type of habits are going to catch up to us at the most important time of the year. And ultimately, our leadoff hitter happens to be one of our worst players. So
by the way,
very strange. What's up?
There's kind of, I think it's a false narrative. I'm actually going to push back on that. Not from you, but just people always say.
What's the narrative?
Well, people act like Arias doesn't have a high on-base percentage. He has a 363 on-base percentage for his career.
What was Grisham's on-base percentage last season?
348. And so, like, last year, it was kind of down for Arias at 327. He still hit 292. I mean, the OPS and the slug is not going to be great. But I'm getting 181 hits. Grisham had 116 last year. I mean, like, there's honestly, it's a no-brainer if Arias stays healthy, right? Mm-hmm. Because he wasn't healthy in 2000. Well, no, he was healthy in 2024. He just got traded 3 times or whatever. But this is a guy, 181 hits, 200 hits, 203, 173, 126, dating back to 2021. He's had more hits than Trent Grisham in every single season, not including the COVID season and his rookie year. So, like, this idea...
What's his on-base percentage been in those years? Because I don't think the Yankees care about they don't care about what you hit. They care about your on-base.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. So, and I think they kind of, I guess. 345 right now, 327 last year, 346, 347, 346, 393, 375, 357, 364, 399. He has been the victim of a false narrative. He doesn't walk, sure. His on-base percentage is still higher than most guys that do walk.
And on-base percentage, you know what they really should do? They need to wait on base percentage. I get it that people say, oh, batting average doesn't matter, man. Batting average doesn't matter.
All these analytics, and they don't seem to have that.
And they don't have it. Guys, a player who hits 335 with an on-base of 365 is a superior baseball player than a dude who hits 240 and on-base percentage is 375. I promise you. I don't care that the dude who hit 240 gets on base just as much. He hits 240. So when he hits 240, keep in mind, that means on baseballs he puts in play, he gets a hit 24% of the time. It's a math equation. Yeah. So when a guy's in scoring position and your leadoff guy comes up, Trent Grisham is hitting 151. And even if all the bad luck he's ever had, we just gave him good luck, it's still not a high batting average. So the clip with runners in scoring position, which one of our chats was the Yankees, and I believe it was Jersey Girl, said we're still not hitting with runners in scoring position. We're 14th in the league. Guys, the sky is not falling. But part of the reason those numbers are middle of the pack, barely, is because we have low batting average players in run-producing positions. And yes, leadoff is still a run-producing position when you've got guys like Caballero hitting ninth. Jake, please go ahead.
Oh, by the way, Arias in high leverage, 343, 395, 439, and an 834 OPS.
Yeah.
So, like,
it's, and the Yankees counter is, well, Trent Grisham's slugging percentage is tops in baseball with runners in scoring position. And then I'm like, I don't want slugging. I want hits.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what runners in scoring position
more often than not,
is.
he strikes out or he walks. And then if he doesn't, it's a huge hit. But he's not putting the ball in play. And let's be honest here, just because this guy puts the ball in play doesn't mean he's getting outs. Like, he's actually hitting it where guys aren't. With 2 outs and runners in scoring position, he has a career 793 OPS. He has a 403 on base. This, I mean, I'm here to tell you
$1.5 million.
Yeah, I know. I thought that was hilarious. By the way, I want to get to this super chat just because it just showed
Jack,
up.
that's hilarious, man. Thank you.
The boysenberry there. Be Peter Friend, much love. Even though you're about
Thank
to
you for that. Really appreciate the support of the channel, man. That's awesome.
But
yeah, by the way, we don't need people to agree with us at all.
No, of course not.
So be Peter Friend with the 50 bomb. Thank you for that. Really appreciate it.
Yes.
Says disagree completely. This is good because I want this to be thought provoking. Says this isn't about Jones or Max. It's the mistake of having Trent. We're presuming Jones is in the plans next year. with his K rate, they may not feel he's an MLB player. They need a real starting caliber player. Now, Jake, I want to ask you the question. Could you pull up, and I don't know the exact answer to this because I don't want to make it seem like I'm just privy to all information. What is Trent Grisham's strikeout numbers? Let's just use 2025. Do you know what those are?
He struck out 21 times and 93 at-bats.
No, last season.
Oh, last season.
Because we can get a full baseball season. He was a starter. I want to know what his strikeout numbers looked like.
Yeah, so last year, Grisham had, let's see. Is that it? 137 strikeouts in 494 at-bats.
Okay, so he wasn't a full-time player for obvious reasons, right? We had a 4-man rotation. He had 494 at-bats, which tells me 200 at-bats were left on the bone, right? If he was a full-time player, he would have had 600 at-bats as a leadoff guy for the Yankees. How many times did you say he struck out again? 134?
134.
134 strikeouts. If he played full-time, he would have struck out 170 times. Is striking out 170 times a lot, ladies and gentlemen? It actually probably been closer to 180. Is that a lot? You tell me. Is that striking out a lot? In my opinion, it is for a leadoff hitter.
I would say so.
Right.
I mean, Spencer Jones struck out 200 times in 2024, and then he struck out 179 last year, and obviously played fewer at-bats, 438 than Grisham.
He strikes out more than Grisham. So Grisham doesn't strike out as much.
Yeah. But here's the thing, though. What Spencer Jones does, I mean, he had 58 walks last year. Okay. And Grisham had 82. But Spencer Jones is a much better defender. It had a 933 OPS, and he had a 362 on-base percentage last year, which, by the way, has gone up this year to 364. I mean, I think, like, I understand the point, like, with the K rate, but at the same time, I just do not care because people are saying you're setting yourself up for Joey Gallo, and you know what? Maybe. But if it's Joey Gallo on Texas, that's not a bad player, and he's homegrown. Like, if Joey Gallo was homegrown, I would have given him some more leeway.
If Joey Gallo, we want to preface this statement by saying,
yes,
and you did, Texas version of Joey Gallo. If he was sitting in our minor league system and we knew it was Joey Gallo from Texas, would you play him over Trent Grisham? That's the question, because B. Peter Friend, in my opinion, is more so getting at the fact that the Yankees need an upgrade that fits the roster. I agree with you. That was why we were clamoring for Steven Kwan. We were clamoring for different players offensively who could go to the outfield, who could go in our infield. It can hit for some average, right? Who can put the ball in play more often and have that Toronto-esque at bat. But we can't just not call up a prospect because he doesn't solve our problems. He's still just a better baseball player than the guy he's replacing. So I think that's pretty much, Jake, what we're getting at. And B. Peter Friend is more so talking about that Spencer Jones isn't a solution to some of our offensive issues. And that I would agree with. I would agree with that. So
we appreciate the boysenberry. That was dope.
I can never remember boysenberry, Jake. It's probably because I've never even heard of that. We got this one, by the way.
First time I ever heard it was okay. We got that. First time I ever heard it was in Bug's Life. Have you ever seen that movie?
Bug's Life, I believe they had a ride at Disneyland and it just scared the hell out of me. And I just cried off the ride and everything. It was horrible.
They had that was ridiculous. They had the 4D show.
Yeah, where the bugs would crawl on you and all the air is blowing on you. I screamed out of that place. You can ask my mom. I believe she was there.
One thing that people who know me, they know, I am deathly afraid of spiders.
Yeah.
Deathly afraid.
So you didn't like that show?
I didn't like the show. I close my eyes when I get to the Harry Potter part where all the spiders come out at Universal.
It's fair.
I close my eyes when you get to the part of the Kong ride when all the spiders come out. No.
Fair.
No. And like, I don't need that. I don't, not fun for me. And people
makes
love
no
it.
sense. Jake's got a bunch of killer masks. He's got everything. But he's afraid of spiders.
Here's my thing. Anybody that played Resident Evil 9, I killed the giant spider. I feel like I deserve some praise there because I am horrified of them, and yet I faced my fears and beat it in the most recent video game. But no, as far as spiders, I am a wimp. I don't care who knows it. I know that's like a prerequisite with the whole like dating culture now. Like that's a thing apparently on TikTok.
Oh, like if you don't kill a bug, they won't date you.
Yeah, like
Because I saw it on TikTok. They said if you take them to the Cheesecake Factory, they're like, I can't never marry a guy, never date him again, see him again if he takes you to the Cheesecake Factory. I'm like, the Cheesecake Factory? I just took my wife and my daughter to Cheesecake and we spent $140. I don't know what Cheesecake Factory they're going to.
Well, we did too, and we had a gift card. So.
Yeah, isn't that always sad when you swipe your gift card and they're like, yeah, your total is going to be $123.65. You're like, no, did that go through? They're like, yeah, we took off $50 from your gift card.
That's
you
literally
owed us $185. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah,
Jesus.
no, that's the thing. Like, well, anyway, I don't even know how we got on the spiders, but the point being is, the rides. But yeah, I don't like any of the spiders and whatnot.
I have no idea how we got on spiders either, but Jeff J, who's been a member for 20 months. Oh, that's right.
Which, because that part in the movie, he goes, boysenberry. And that's like, how
that's
I
right.
remember it.
Boysenberry. Yeah. The 50 bomb boysenberry. And we don't get many 50 bombs. People usually skip it and go to 100, but we really appreciate it. Thank you for the 50. So Jeff J, who's been a member for 20 months, I think that's a record, says, sup, fellas, the Yankees have had a really nice road trip and dropped one today. Completely agree. I thought this was a great trip. Loved what Rodriguez did today. Thought he just picked around and can't wait to see him back out there. At the very least, I want this guy in the bullpen. I think the look he provides against righties would be devastating in a postseason series. He pitched in the WBC. I think he can deal with the big stage of the playoffs in New York. Love the build and the whole character setup of this young man. And he says, Grichuk is gone. Time to see what Jones can do. Let's go. So Jeff J is on board with Jake about calling up Spencer Jones. And this is the chat I saw earlier. So yes, it was Jersey Girl. I remembered correctly with the 2. Thank you. And by the way, guys, make sure you guys subscribe if you're new and like this video and hype the video. Really good way to help us get the word out that we do this podcast. We're really appreciative of all of our audience. Jersey Girl with the 2 says, still have runners in scoring position issues. I know I mentioned this earlier. 14th with this inefficiency. So again, guys, Trent Grisham he's partly to do with it. Low batting average players don't just suddenly turn into 370 hitters with runners in scoring position. They may slug, but they're not going to just elevate to this level. David Ortiz
He's not a
was
great high leverage player, by the way.
No, I know that. That's why Yes Network said Trent Grisham has a high slugging, right?
Yep.
That's why they said that. If he just simply was a good clutch hitter, wouldn't they have said that, Jake?
I mean, his batting average balls in play is 270 in high leverage. That's not like terrible, but like
no, it's not.
He doesn't raise the bar. His on base percentage is 331. In medium leverage, it's 314 for his career and 321 in low leverage. He has a 236 in high leverage. So basically, what you saw last year is what Trent Grisham does in high leverage situation.
Imagine, it was a point you made like a week ago. You're like, hey, Trent Grisham gets on base a lot, but he doesn't get a lot of hits. He had 9 doubles last year, hit a lot of home runs. I don't need you on base with runners in scoring position. I need you to get a hit.
Yeah.
I don't need you to walk. I need you to get a hit. And if ultimately you're going to tell me, well, if I walk, then Judge comes up. Isn't that what you want? It's like, no, I want you to do your job. And then I want Judge to do his job.
He was okay. He was definitely like A-okay last year in my book. Like, okay, below average defender, but he did, like, looking at his high leverage numbers last year, he had a 920 OPS. That's not bad at all. No, that's not bad at all. But the problem I have is that now he's regressing back to what he normally does. And that's our,
I'm sorry, Mr. Maverick's like, from spiders to the Cheesecake Factory. We have no idea how this works out. But
guy will never be getting my address because he has a tarantula farm and I don't trust him. So
I know what to get you for your birthday. I'm going to send you
don't do it. Do not do it. Stick to the nerdy stuff. You sent me Thor's hammer behind me,
Oh yeah, guys, by the way, that hammer back there weighs like, Jake, how much does that thing weigh? Like 80 pounds?
Dude, it's ridiculous. Yeah. I don't even know how you sent that. I did
a special order.
Yeah, that
it almost sent me as much to send it than it did to buy it.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
dude,
it was crazy.
It was so heavy. Dude, you know it's like actually just on that like rinky dink setup back there?
Yeah, I'm surprised it didn't just fold on top of your head at some
Oh,
point.
it will eventually fold. Like it'll be like we'll be doing a show and just everything will topple. Remember that time
Eventually.
things were just falling off your wall? It'll be like that.
God, we've really, I don't know if anyone's going to be able to find that episode just because we do so many shows.
Yeah.
But if you could find the episode where my equipment was just slowly but surely falling off the wall, guys, that would be historic.
Oh my
Historic.
God.
I'm trying to catch up here. We got some chat GBT. Jake, you're going to be proud of this super chat. Go ahead, Jake.
Back to it though with Grisham. I don't even know how we got back to the. Oh yeah. Anyway. Oh yeah. I know Alex will find it. That'll make it his mission will be to find it. But
on his Android, he'll be scrolling a while.
Yeah, but like with Trent Grisham, I mean, this is somebody who, and I feel like just a broken record because we've talked about this so many times. The reason why I'm harder on Trent Grisham, despite the fact he had a really good year last year, because he had a good year, is that his history goes to show you that this is who he is. Like more often than not. And I mean, this is below who he is, right? So I'm very concerned that this is a sign that this is what we're about to get, one of those basic seasons he had with San Diego. And if that's the case, I would say this is a worse move than Joey Gallo because they paid him $22 million a year. This is worse than Ryan McMahon because Ryan McMahon has a higher batting average than him and is actually a very good fielder. So like literally
excellent fielder.
This is, and honestly, couldn't stand Hicks. I knew Aaron Hicks was a total dud. I knew he was a one-year wonder. I thought he was overrated that year he had. And I knew they were going to sign him to some stupid contract, 7 years, $70 million. Hated that contract. Never liked Aaron Hicks. Did not enjoy him on the Yankees at all.
Was not a good contract for us.
But Trent Grisham's this 1 year, because think about it. Aaron Judge is now 34 years old. You are running out of time. You are running out of time. Him, Cole, you're running out of time. You can't have a year where you're like, we're paying him $22 million. We got to keep him in the lineup. At the top of the lineup, you can't have this. So if he doesn't change, like if this doesn't get better, this is going to be one of the worst moves in Yankee history because of just the timing, the timeline.
The domino
can't have
effect,
this. You can't. You seriously, like this Yankee team, and mind you, they lost today. We haven't really even talked about the game because we like talking about kind of the macro. That's a big
because I thought it was okay that they lost today. Like not that I'm rooting for a loss or that losses are ever something we should root for, but the Yankees had a great road trip. This was overall. This was a win, but it's more so about
bring
what we're
these
doing.
things up. It's predictive of the future. We said early on in the season, they're winning games, and we're like, I'm a little concerned. Why are you concerned? They're winning games. I'm concerned because the pitching is winning games. The hitting isn't hitting. And then sure enough, they had
to you, Jake?
What's that?
Isn't it weird to you that people wait for the Yankees to lose to mention what could possibly improve about the team? We talk about both today. We talked about Elmer Rodriguez in how excited we were, not just about him being called up, because that was yesterday. Today, seeing what it looked like on screen, because it's a difference between pitching in the minor leagues. That's not the same thing. When he got out there, and you see him on Pitching Ninja now, with 2 feet of break on his slider, you see the sinker. He's ahead of hitters all day, and then he's nibbling around getting the 3-2. He had 4 walks, hit a batter. So 5 guys got free passes. If he can clean that up, I mean, you're talking about a devastating addition to this staff, maybe even in our bullpen. There's a lot to like about the players that are in our system and at the big league level, but some of the negative side effects of what they're doing as far as what they're utilizing with Trent Grisham, what they're doing with Spencer Jones, Jason Dominguez, just bringing him up here. I think it's more than fair for us to talk about it, even in situations where we're happy about the state of the team overall, because to me, it just reeks of other shows or other accounts just being like, oh, I'm going to wait till they lose 6 straight. And then now I'm going to say Trent Grisham sucks. Or now I'm going to talk about how Ryan McMahon's a waste of money because we got swept at home by Tampa, who's not spending any money. I don't think it makes much sense as an evaluator of baseball teams or sports teams in general to wait for them to lose the games to now mention what can improve. So I think, Jake, we're doing this the right way because it's not flip-floppy. It's more consistent. And then overall, if Trent Grisham starts playing better, then we get to put our hand up and say, oh, we were wrong about this, rather than just pretending it's not a problem and then just bouncing, blowing with the wind later. So yeah, I'm definitely happy that we do things the way we do. Hinged here with the 10. Thank you for the lemon. Says chat GPT. God, I did not know. I thought it was GBT. So it's GPT.
You're getting memed into the sun for that.
Yeah, I don't. I'm officially. So the young kids have now told me what I'm called. I guess I'm considered an unk.
Oh yeah, you're unk. Yep.
I'm unk, right? So chat GPT, a perfect lineup is Ben Rice leading off. Interesting. Aaron Judge. This is a pretty solid lineup overall. You have a lot of young players in it, right? So you're talking Rice, Judge, Belly, Jones. I don't know if I love seeing Jones as a DH, given one of the biggest strengths of his game is defensively. So if you're telling me who should be in, this is also nitpicking and semantics. You just switch Dominguez and Jones if you're really hell bent on that. Luciano, who the hell's Luciano?
Marco Luciano. He's hitting 299. He has 7 home runs, 1,000 OPS and AA. He's 24.
He'll get called up in a utility role when he's 29. Jazz at second base, Volpe at shortstop. Interesting. He's got Volpe there. So he's buying. Who said that yesterday? It was Guitar, right? Who said that Anthony Volpe, he believes he's going to come back with authority? I believe so.
It was Slim Lewis
yesterday. Who?
Slim Lewis you're talking about?
Slim Lewis.
By the way,
I believe that was your take that you said Volpe's going to come back. What's
Luciano's never played third, so I don't know what chat GBD is doing, as Gary would put it. Chat EBT.
Chat EBT. Wells catching, so he's keeping Austin Wells at catcher. I'd rather live with a young player's K's than low ops vets.
Yeah, Luciano's
I guess so. I probably wouldn't buy into the ops.
The
I'm more looking for batting average. I know that I'm not looking for guys hitting 300. That's a different standard now. It is. But I think the way that Toronto built their lineup last season was we don't need to copy it and just like mold it. But to some degree, having guys with higher batting averages is an indication of bat control and adjustment making. So yeah, not that I'd replace like Jazz and Jones and all these players with high contact.
CBD.
Yeah, Apex, appreciate you, man. It was Slim. And by the way, Hinge, thank you for the lemon. And Jeff Pika with I believe this is a new one, so thank you for the 5, who's also a member at Yankees Unloaded, says Dominguez should bat leadoff once he gets going. Grisham is a true 3 outcome guy. Hits are better than walks. I've never agreed more with a post ever.
Yep. By the way, I did want to shout out, your mom's already laughing.
I'm sure she is. I don't think she's listening. She's working.
No, she was watching, but she couldn't hear. She just said that you were a chicken when it comes to killing bugs.
I kill them now.
Well, I still want it, but anyway, where is it? I just saw Yankee Fangirl.
I was high on chat CBD.
Okay. Yankee Fangirl for Life said, yeah, but not going to lie, when Ninja mentions it, he's called negative. So here's the thing. I really do like with what Ninja typically says.
Mm-hmm.
I like agree with some of it. And then I think some of it is a little bit overblown. And that's why I think he's called negative. But I mean, yeah, I think Ninja kind of sees it how we see it. It's like, okay, they won today, but like there's also some problems that need to be ironed out.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's how I would say that. I mean, I know we've called him negative before, but he also says to fire everybody and everything. So There's also that, but
Yeah, I guess some people look at wins and losses as like,
Mhm.
yeah, wins and losses are technically the only thing, but the way you won, is it an indication that something might go wrong later? And if the answer is yes, you probably should get that solved now.
Mhm.
And by the way, Andrew, he says he's asking why there's not more people in the chat. Honestly, if we're being honest, there are a lot of people in here. There's 300
There's a
people.
lot.
There's
Can you
300
imagine 303 people in one room?
That's exactly what I was gonna say. Because I'm here to tell you right now, if you put me in front of an auditorium of 305 people, I'd shit myself. Giving hey Gary, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna have you and one other person talk for an hour and 25 minutes. Plus voicemails, which by the way, we haven't done that. We haven't done prize picks. It's gonna be an hour and 40. I tell you, I'm not doing that. I'd bail on the whole thing. But ultimately, everything's small until, like, I guess what's small, right? I feel like there's a lot of people in here in general, but our audience, I'm happy with it. I'm happy with what we got. And you know what? Our audience come postseason time, it's going to be over 1,000 and people are going to be like, holy shit, there's a lot of people in here. Guys, not everybody watches games and watches post-game shows of April 29th baseball games. They just don't.
Yeah, there's the NBA and NHL playoffs going on.
Yeah.
So I think we'll get some people who are like in the playoff mode, which I never fault anybody who's in playoff mode. Like the same people who are like, okay, it's baseball playoffs. I can't get in the NFL yet. Like I get that, right? Like I've always understood that. You watch a full season, you want to see its conclusion. A lot of people, they don't watch the full season. They just want to see its conclusion. Yeah, I think
that doesn't seem like much fun, Jake.
No.
Watching the Yankees, you're like, oh, it's opening day, best day of the year. Yankees play. It was literally like 2 teams played. We play. And
well,
it's
like,
you're going to watch the opening day, maybe like the MLB All-Star game and Home Run Derby and show up to October. What a joke.
Yeah, so you know what that's like?
What, scrolling to the end of a movie and like seeing the ending?
Yeah. But, with technology now, you get to see, like, when you're fast forwarding, you get to see the tiny frames.
Yeah.
Is that not, like, you just do that, and they're like, okay, there's 30 minutes left. We're at the climax of the film.
There are people that do that, too. People will watch opening day, come in here at the break, and be like, so anyways, oh, damn. Ben Rice is at the All-Star game? What the hell happened? Oh, shit, man, he's hitting 320. What the hell? Ben Rice, MVP. Yeah. And then
I bet people probably lost their ever-loving mind when they saw Jose Trevino was an all-star.
Exactly. Like they watched probably 3 games and then went back to their daily lives. I'm sure they were busy.
Yeah.
They're probably watching other sports. They're watching the NFL draft. They're watching all this stuff.
And Greg Bird.
Right. They're focusing on their keeper NFL drafts and all this crap. And all of a sudden, they show up to the All-Star game. I do. And all of a sudden, they get here and go, oh, man, Ben Rice is having himself a year, because they see eventually in the year, they start putting up the stats. There's like a little bar when you walk up to the plate, because they're like, hey, man, this guy's hitting 340. You need to see that, right? The little traditional splits. And that's such a terrible way to consume baseball. We just don't do that here. So, yeah, all in all, guys, we're happy with our audience. And sweet baby Jesus, gotta love the names on YouTube. Says, let's get the likes up, peeps.
Yes.
Really appreciate it. Yeah, guys, hit the like button. God, I feel like such a YouTuber. I feel like Mr. Beast going, hit that like button, everybody.
Smash that like button. If you smash it and you get up to 1,000, I'll give $1 million to some random person whose address that I somehow know. I'll knock on their door and I'll give it to you and you'll be in the next video. Like, can I just have the $1 million and you just leave me alone? I don't want to be in the next video.
I know. And what's funny is I don't dislike Mr. Beast or any of that. It's just kind of funny because there's something about him. Did you ever see the movie? Oh, here we go. Is it the Nice Guys or the Bad Guys? I think it's the Bad Guys, where it's a cartoon and there's like a bunny or some type of crap. And the bunny is like this sweet looking mare in the movie. And they're like very intimidating. They're like a snake, a piranha, all these different characters. And everybody stereotypes them as like being evil and all this crap. And all in all, it turns out the big evil one was the mayor, this bunny.
Well, he was the mayor. I would have guessed that.
It turns out he's the mayor of New York. But it's like, dude, yeah,
man.
movies unloaded. Here we go. Yeah, I won't make this long. But it's
Yeah.
just like, yeah, man, it's one of those situations. I feel like Mr. Beast is like, he's hiding something. I just don't know what it is.
No, I hear you. And by the way, like, I don't want to be a part of the whole, like, in your ecosystem. Like, if I win, just give me what I won, and I want to be on my merry way. I don't want to be a part of your next video. I don't want to get locked into a jail cell underneath a bunch of sand. I don't.
You don't want to do one of those, sit in this box however long you sit.
Yeah, no,
I'll give you $10,000. I'm
not
like, you're really
interested in
messing
that.
with me right now.
Yeah, I'm not interested in that at all. And the other thing I would say is Mr. Beast. Like, the one thing that always grinds my gears about Mr. Beast is that he'll do like a video and be like, "It's not the algorithm, it's you. Like, your videos just suck." And I'm like, no. You don't understand. I'm not doing the same content as you. So to like generalize sports content into that.
You didn't spend $50 million on production for one video?
I know. Well, that's another thing. But like, I always love that, where it's just like, yeah, it's actually it's not YouTube and it's not the algorithm. It just means you suck.
All in all, though, he is right. Technically speaking, the majority of people out there that make videos and they aren't watched at all, it's because the videos just aren't that good. That's the majority of people.
Yes.
But there are a lot of people out there, not the majority. This is in the minority now. I'd say 5%. 5%, those 5%ers out there where you're like, that show right there is way better than all these shows and nobody watches it. That happens. It does happen. You can find it. But Jake, was there anything about today's game, by the way, that you wanted to discuss overall? Because I felt like we touched on Rodriguez. Love the stuff. I think his stuff's good enough to pitch in our bullpen, which is my takeaway, right? And I think Jack Curry saying when everyone's healthy, ERC won't be a part of that starting five. I think we completely agree. But based on our bullpen, I think the guy that Rodriguez can replace in a hurry right this second is Doval. That's the guy I want to replace in a hurry. What's your take right now about Rodriguez? Do you just send him back down and let him be a starter? Or do you force him into the staff?
It's so bizarre to me because this is where I just don't feel like they apply the same logic across the board. I feel like they're constantly contradicting their views, their values, all of that. Because it was, and Michael K brought this up, well, Jason Dominguez isn't going to get 500 at-bats if he stays up there. And I immediately thought, I was like, why? And he's absolutely right. But like, why?
He is right.
Why would he not? So I guess the whole thing was, their plan was, we want Jason Dominguez to get 500 at-bats one way or another. The best way to do that is keep him in AAA, right? So you say it on that end, but now ERC, you're fine pitching in the bullpen. Like, you got to make it make sense, because it really doesn't. They're just constantly, they're trying to sound smart in certain ways. I think they overthink everything, but then I also think they're not really that great at what they do. So they kind of luck into a lot of different things. Like, they lucked into Cam Schlittler. They lucked into Ben Rice. To your point, those injuries. Now, they luck into them, but I thought, Boone did a nice job of playing them. So I'm not saying,
and like, also our system, because Boone did make the decision that
yes,
he could have played Goldschmidt anyways, even if he was playing poorly, the way that Grisham's playing now over Jason Dominguez, he could have made that choice and he didn't. So we definitely wanted to make sure that we give Boone the credit for what he has done right. But yeah, it's a little disappointing on that front. That's not everybody gets the same mentality. Yeah, right. We don't read it the same way.
Yeah, exactly. And I just don't like the constant, it's this, but this guy, it's this. It's like, you don't really have a consistent approach. Like,
it sounds like they're just kind of doing whatever they want. There's actually not like any way for us to predict at all what they're
good example of this, by the way. It absolutely drove Aaron Rodgers and the Packers fans nuts. But when Ted Thompson, the late great Ted Thompson, when he was the general manager, he didn't believe in drafting receivers in the first round. Like, Devontae Adams, I think, was a second round pick, if I'm not mistaken. Jordy Nelson was not a first round pick, right?
Who was the guy that they eventually ended up taking in the first round? Who was it again?
I think, they took Christian Watson, I think.
Not him though. That's
But
not who I was thinking of.
Matthew Golden last year out of Texas.
Yes. And we got that amazing clip from the dude on the Pat McAfee show. That was awesome.
Oh my God. Yeah. Like, but this is my thing though. Like, you know, you have DNAs. You should, and I understand this kind of takes away the gamesmanship of it, but like different teams, like we know that, for instance, Sean McVay and the Rams, like they don't typically play rookies a lot. Like that's something that people know. That's just common knowledge. The Ted Thompson thing, right? Like they know, like, oh yeah, Bill Belichick is really big on, you know, not being too loud about who they meet with before they draft. And there are just these different, like it's a DNA. And I just don't feel like the Yankees have that. What can you say? Oh, this is just the way the Yankees operate. The only thing you can say, because it's so consistent, is that they really don't know what they're doing with their prospects. It's like that guy that says, I'm investing in this product. Someday I'm going to sell it. And then they never sell it. And so basically it's just sunken cost. Like they don't enjoy it or anything. It's just a sunken cost. You never sold it, right?
At that point, you just spent money.
Yeah, you just spent money.
If you invest, I hate when people do that, man. They're like, I'm building up this savings account. I'm like, for what? They're like, when I'm 75, I'm going to pull that. I go, so it's useless.
Yeah. So basically what you're telling me is that you're going to constantly say, it's unrealized profit. No, it's no profit because you haven't sold it. And you don't plan to, right? So the Yankees are that team that like, they don't even strike while the iron's hot. They've never once traded a prospect and like gotten the most out of him. I think the only argument you could make is Agustin Ramirez. And I mean, they got Jazz Chisholm. I mean, I was really happy about the trade, but it's not like they've gone out and gotten Cliff Lee. They didn't go out and get Roy Halladay. They didn't go out and get Garrett Cole. They haven't really made the big splash trade with those guys. The biggest trade they ever made was a 1-for-1 involving Alfonso Soriano, who was actually contributing to the current roster, not really a prospect.
What year was that again?
For Alex Rodriguez. That was like 2005. The Rangers had their old school, I believe it was
2004,
logo.
But I mean, you're close enough.
Yeah.
Guys.
Oh, yeah. You're right.
Let's step out of our time machine here for a second. It's 2026. Like, I'm pretty sure we're past the year of we're Back to the Future where they spun all the way into the future. I'm pretty sure we're past that point. Wasn't it like 2020 that they went to?
Dude, it's unreal.
Come on now. We're way out here, guys. I guess your point is you want to see some type of
I want to know what I'm getting.
Traditionally, what do they do? What are the habits? And it doesn't seem like there's a habit because Ben Rice came up here out of emergency, right? Because of Rizzo. Cam Schlittler came out here because, right, they're making reactive moves rather than being proactive is really what you're getting at. And he says,
they're not aggressive. They're just, they just wait for the air to breathe. And then they just kind of do whatever based on what they see in their surroundings. I know that's kind of a weird way of putting it, but I mean, basically they're letting everything, they're waiting for time to go by. And they're just like, well, this sport, it just makes decisions for you. And that's how the Yankees operate. That's actually their DNA. We're going to let everything around us make the decision. Injuries, other teams, the market, even though we're in control of our own guys and, you know, they invest countless amount of money, you know, in developing these guys. And think about it. It's not just development, but it's also scouting. Think about how much these scouts are paid. So all of that together, your collective effort is that, yeah, I know he's, you know, he has 30 home runs on the year in the minors and has over 1,100 OPS, but we're not going to call him up. And I don't know if we ever will. Why? I don't know. I mean, we're not going to trade him for, you know, Tarek Skubal or anything like that. I think we'll just kind of sit on it and just wait. It's like,
and if somebody gets injured, then we have the depth, which is a good thing. And we would all agree it is a good thing. It's also nice to have Spencer Jones as an emergency.
But even worse, by the way, that asset that I was talking about that people will hang on to, let's say it's gold, or like, you know, it's the trading card analogy. I know, like, sports cards, it gets a little weird because of all the different reprints and like the rarity tiers. But like, there's certain like TCGs out there, like Magic the Gathering. That dude found like his 92 Magic the Gathering set, like untouched, and he sold it for like, I mean, he's now rich because he sold it, right? But here's the thing, Gary.
Oh my God.
That stuff will always appreciate. That stuff is only going to go up when you have an IP that is that successful. There's not an expiration date. Spencer Jones is a human being. You only have so long. That's my issue with the way that they handle it. They actually handle it like the guy that won't sell his stuff and it's like, oh, it's going to go up in value someday. It's like, then you're going to enjoy it. You're going to sell it when you're 70. You know?
sound like my mom. We're like, we got to get rid of all this stuff in your garage. And she's like, no. That's worth something. I'm like, it's worth zilch, nothing, squat.
Yeah, but you see what I'm saying, though. Spencer Jones is going to be 25. They called up Aaron Judge at 24, and people thought that was crazy. Like, they're like,
I know, they made it
until, yeah,
they made it seem like
he was 28.
Card. I know, they did.
So,
oh my God, me and Izzy just said the same thing. That was crazy because I know. Wow, Izzy, we're on it, man. Appreciate you in here, and obviously AARP, reminding everybody to like the video. Jake, we've got to get to our prize picks. Let's get our picks out the way right now because we still have to do voicemails, and we are an hour and 35 into this. We are being about as efficient as Trent Grisham is with runners in scoring position.
I think it's been a great show. Obviously, courtesy of our amazing super chatters and commenters.
Had fun.
It's why we love when people get involved. But yeah, let's talk about prize picks.
Let's get the Knicks involved here.
Well, that's what I was thinking because there's just not a lot. So right now, what's the series, by the way? I'm not really following.
I can pull it up for you. I know how they're playing. I just don't know.
Oh, I'm doing that. I'm doing that. That is what I'm doing. OJ,
okay, so right now the series, the Knicks are up 3-2, and obviously they had today off.
Oh, so the Knicks can literally win this series.
The Knicks can win this series in Game 6 on the road.
Okay, so let's go with these two.
Towns is going over. He just is.
And then Anunoby is like, come on.
Yeah, he's hitting them. He's going more. Okay.
What's Philly and Boston? I feel like you need Maxey to have over 20 points to win. At least.
I'm taking Tatum, by the way, with more as well.
I was going to say I like Tatum's 19.5. And then I kind of want to do one for my guy, Joel Embiid. I don't love that one, though. Let's do... Yeah, shout out Joel Embiid, Kansas Jayhawk legend.
I like how we go in the NBA and we're just confident to just drop. We're just dropping bombs. We're going to take 6 different dudes.
Yeah, right. I don't know.
27.5?
That seems way too high.
No way.
Maybe I can get... Oh, I'll do that. He needs 24. I like that. And then I like Jamal Murray's as well.
Okay.
So there you go. And Anunoby, Karl Anthony Towns, Maxey, Tatum, Joel Embiid, Jamal Murray. Getting on the action with prize picks. Our stuff isn't even up there. You're not even up there.
I'll see you guys.
Yeah, so getting on the action with prize picks. Again, it's the code HMA. Link is in the description below. You'll play $5, get $50 instantly if you haven't already done that. Highly recommend. And yeah, that's all I got there. We would have done baseball, but I mean,
the Yankees don't play any.
Yeah. We're staying away from the conjoined twins. That's never happening.
Oh, Jake, that's us.
I don't even know what kind of
that's like my favorite.
That would be. Fromber isn't even. Well, it's weird because the way they did it, they were like leaning into each other.
Yeah, they were both like this, and it's like, come on now.
And now like this is all right. Woodruff,
Jersey girl, thanks for being here. We really appreciate it. We'll see you Friday.
That's not even aligned, brother. Like Fromber Valdez doesn't work with Bryce Elder. They just don't even align. Like you see, that's the end of his shoulder here, and that's Bryce Elder's shoulder. Like, it doesn't work. Yeah, I don't know.
It's wild. Yeah, but anywho, those are our picks.
Yep. So be sure to get in on the action with
Let's get to our voicemails. How many voicemails do we have tonight? Because it's already been a long show.
We've got 3.
3. All right, let's get it started.
It's Buzz Lightyear himself. Now
Kyle Malay. Billy Mays here.
Billy Mays here. All right.
Hey guys, Kyle Malay here. Well, that was an awful performance by our offense today.
Yeah.
That was fucking pitiful. Rodriguez, he was okay.
Jesus.
I think he just had jitters today. Like, what do you expect for your first major league debut? Like,
there it is.
Oh well. But hey, you're not gonna win them all. At least the Yankees won 2 out of 3, so that's good. And they had a successful road trip. They went 7-2. They won all 3 series, so that's good. But yeah, let's all have a good off day tomorrow, and hopefully, yeah, they at least win the series, at least split or win the series against Orioles, because Orioles, they're always hard to beat. But yeah, let's all have a good night, and let's go Yankees, and maybe actually score a run on Friday. All right, have a good night. And also, sorry, hopefully Jason Dominguez is okay. They said it was a contusion, so hopefully some ice and stuff will work for that.
Ice and elevate.
Yeah, let's all have a good night, and go Yankees.
That's what the trainer at my high school used to say. Ice and elevate. It became like a meme because people would be like, all right, I tore my ACL. Ice and elevate. That's all.
Yeah. You're an amputee, and they're like, we need to make sure you elevate that.
Yeah, bro has a freaking machete wound in the chest. Ice and elevate. What am I elevating? What am I? Yeah. Appreciate you, Kyle, Mr.
Better
Buzz
to get hit
Lightyear.
on the elbow than the finger.
That is true. Although I'd rather get hit neither places.
That is fair. Just don't get hit by the ball at all.
One thing, my days playing, the most painful thing ever, because I was told to turn your back to the ball. Like if it's coming at you, just turn. I don't know why. Why did they tell you that? Because I got hit directly on my fucking spine. Dude, that shit hurts so bad.
Well, I mean, they only tell you that not because of the pain. They just tell you that because your extremities are the ones that break. You can't really break your back. Like, when was the last time you saw a player get hit in the back with a baseball?
Oh, I know.
And
I
the
understand,
player,
but
the ball, I mean, you'd think like a Aroldis Chapman's fastball would just go through somebody at some point. But dude, if Aroldis Chapman threw a baseball right at you and it hit you straight in the middle of your spine right now, you'd be on the ground for 15 minutes.
Oh yeah, dude. Like,
however,
I got
you
hit
would
in the
play
ankle.
4 days from then.
You
4
know,
days
like
from
the
then, you'd be
bone,
playing.
The bone
Yeah.
that sticks out. What do they call that? The ankle bone?
If you get hit in the ankle?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. If you get hit in the ankle bone, you're cooked.
Right on the ankle bone, I got hit. Actually, twice in the same at bat because the umpire said that I didn't get hit.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I could barely walk. And he's like, nope, you didn't get hit, back in the batter's box. So then I stepped up, got drilled again, same spot, wanted to kill the pitcher, and I didn't. And then I turned around and I said, did I get hit this time? And then, like, yeah, that hurt.
If only you were so lucky to be playing in the big leagues, they would have replayed it like they did today. They replayed a ball that wasn't even
so
close
bad.
to hitting somebody. And it's like, and then also Caballero's situation where they're like, yeah, he struck out. I'm like, well.
Did you see, did you hear David Cone was about to dive outside of the box? This man would have dove down onto the ground and attacked this umpire if they overturned that. He's like, you can't overturn that. I've never heard David Cone sound so like emphatic about something. He was pissed. He was like, there's no way they're going to consider to overturn this. He was like, I can't believe you have the audacity to even challenge this. And he's like,
Michael Kay does that every once in a while too. I like when the broadcasters get mad every time. Like, you don't want him to be Mr. PR every day.
No.
Like, that's boring. So I like to see some. I think that's
fire.
what makes our booth good is that they actually have some balls up there. I appreciate it.
Guy says, not me. I would die. Well,
I think he's talking about when, if Chapman hit you in the back with a fastball, but
now
you
we
don't.
got.
But if he hits you in the finger, you're done.
Speaking of which, Guy is on the phone.
Excuse me. Hello, everyone. I don't have any words to trigger off to say something, but I'll just want to say you guys always do a great job.
You Guy.
I'm very happy that the show is growing in the direction it is.
Thank you.
I noticed a lot of the views the next day. That's a lot for people who don't watch it live. And happy with the growth.
It's interesting.
Let's see. What else can I say? I'm sure you already covered it. ERC definitely. It was nerves. Being a Yankee may have added to it, and on the road. Hopefully you get some good advice from maybe Cam, or Max. But he's got great stuff. I think he'll be fine.
I do too.
On Volpe, he just needs to stay down, not upset the chemistry. Let him rake in the minors. He hasn't done nothing. And
he won't.
When he's needed, bring him up. I guess that's it. I don't know. Lombard. I think you mentioned it. He was expedited to AAA for a good reason. They would like him to play third base. All right, I'm out.
All right, can we talk about that? Because I have mixed feelings about this. Lombard Jr. is absolutely the shortstop of the future, in my opinion. Like, he has all the tools. The way Caballero is playing, if you want to move him to third, I'm totally fine with that. But if this is to give Anthony Volpe his last licks and we believe he can be our start, I couldn't disagree more. I really couldn't.
Yeah.
I mean, the biggest issue with Lombard was that he couldn't hit, right? But you know what I mean by couldn't hit. It's not like he never got a hit, but he was struggling. Now he's not. Everything's coming together. We're watching the collective. I got to be honest, this is a guy that probably would be up for a few organizations right now in the majors. You watch what he does and you're like, oh, he's got an absolute cannon for an arm.
Yeah, we
He's
saw
got
that video with him
range.
and Volpe. And Volpe's throw looked like a pool noodle
and then
going over to first.
You look at the at-bats and you're like, he's got some pop. We don't need him to be that guy, right?
Nope.
And again, it goes back to what I've been saying since we started this show. When you've already lowered the bar, okay? You've told me that a 151 batting average is good enough to be in the big leagues. So why can't he, right? So I understand he just got called up to AAA, whatever. But what I'm saying, I really don't think it should be that long before he's called up. We're not talking about a guy that's just another body here. I think he's already a better option than just about anybody in the infield. Except for Ben Rice at first.
Especially, when you're talking about at third base, he's probably already a better player. By the way, do you remember the commercials? How many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? I wonder how many licks Anthony Volpe is going to take with the Yankees. How many licks are we going to give this? They're making it seem like this is A-Rod taking rehab assignment, and they're like, hey, when's he ready? It's he wasn't ready last year when he was healthy.
And I don't have any issue with Volpe getting an opportunity.
I do.
No. Hear me out. On the roster. Being on the roster. I mean, if Schumann can be on the roster, Volpe can be on it. But my issue is don't roll out the red carpet for a guy that's never had, that great of a season. It's not like he's ever looked that great. He had a Gold Glove year that we thought was overrated. I've actually identified that the year that he didn't win the Gold Glove, he probably should have. The year he did win the Gold Glove, he probably shouldn't have, right?
Yeah.
Last year, he fell off, obviously mainly because of the injury, but let's not make excuses based on the injury, because before that, which, by the way, they told us was a nothing burger and that we would just had, tinfoil hats, essentially. Right. We ended up being right. Shocker. But before the injury, Gary, he wasn't that good to begin with. He was really struggling. I don't think people remember that. But defensively, Volpe was a lemon last year before the shoulder.
Yeah, that has to be mentioned. He
Yeah.
wasn't good before. So when
So
you're not good before the injury, you're not going to be any good after the injury. I mean,
that's correct.
what it would, yeah, it got worse. They're like, oh, I think the reason it fell off a cliff. I'm like, we were already on the edge of the cliff, and then somebody kicked him off with the shoulder injury. That was what it was. And so we're making it seem like Volpe was at the mountaintop and just got thrown off. No, that's not what it was. And right now we're trying to figure out like where to put Volpe. People are like, Volpe should play second base. No, Volpe can play second base, but Jazz Chisholm's still a much better baseball player. Who are we kidding? Jazz is incredibly flawed. Jazz is a much better baseball player than Anthony Volpe. So as much as you can dislike Jazz, you can do that all you want. He's a better baseball player than Anthony Volpe. In what he did last year alone is worth playing him permanently over Volpe. Caballero at shortstop, that's a given. You're watching what he does at the bottom of our lineup. If Volpe was doing this offensively, I'd be happy with Volpe. I literally would tell you, I don't need a replacement. This is all it could be. And then now I'm looking at probably shortstop, third base, and interchanging those with Lombard Jr. I think that's where people are getting at right now. We're getting production at shortstop from Caballero. They're looking at Ryan McMahon. Ryan McMahon is technically the starter of the Yankees at third. And it seems very easy to replace him with George Lombard Jr. And it seems like the team gets a lot better. And I understand that. But Jake, to your point, you don't want people making, let's part the Red Sea for Anthony Volpe to arrive back at shortstop. Hey, what are we doing?
Oh, yeah. Well, all right. So before we do that, and before we get to our last voicemail, which is Ninja Hot Dog, okay, I have a special present for you, Gary, from Alex Marin. You ready for this? All right. Let's see if we can.
I don't know if I'm ready for this. I'm scared.
All right. So let's see if we can do this. Said. Okay, cool. Yep.
I already hate everything about this because I can see it mini on the screen. This is going to be horrible for me.
I mean, you did ask for it, so.
Just take me out. Cut the show. This is going to be horrible. Oh, God.
This is actually a good thing. Max Fried has a 2.61 ERA. Okay. Obviously, the whip is high. But 2.61, and I don't feel like we've gotten any bit of what Max Fried is going to be. And that's a really good sign. And then you look at Carlos Rodon, who he's had, a good start and then a start that wasn't so great. And he's got a 3.97.
My equipment's falling down in the back, guys.
Lower than it normally is for him. 1.15, where he's only walked 6 in 11 innings, whereas normally that's way higher. But look, I just feel right now, I feel like these guys are going to kind of turn it around. I liked what I saw to Will Warren. We're going to get a better game out of Stroman. People have to understand Stroman has been kind of all over the place. He's sitting there. Do I even know if I'm going to be a Yankee tomorrow? When that kind of goes through your head. So Clark Schmidt's going to come in, and I think Clark Schmidt probably be on like 75 to 80 pitches his first start. They'll, kind of slowly but surely crazy blast from the past. Integrate him. But people forget, I said this multiple times last year, Gary, Clark Schmidt was their best pitcher for the majority of last year. Most consistent. He can miss bats. Everyone kind of looks at him, he's just that guy. Because for whatever reason, no matter what he does, on those projections this offseason, Gary. Did it already happen? Everyone had him as 4th or 5th in the row.
I have no idea what's going on.
Go
way back to see it. Sitting here, freak. Jazz Chisholm.
Oh,
there it is. Right? And today, obviously, he didn't. He didn't do much. But when you look at Aaron Judge and what he's doing,
look at this.
You could easily justify that it doesn't matter. Is this?
Is that slick now?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So anyway.
That thing's so good. And you know what's funny? It looks like either there's a ghost or somebody is just throwing stuff at you.
This is so
Are we
bad.
being so for real right now?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Look at
So
how
anyway.
And you know what's funny? It looks like Appreciate it. Good grief.
Should have known, Alex. I should have never challenged him at all by
He
saying he
found
wouldn't
that-
find that.
He had the timestamp reverse.
Dude,
He sent me
how?
4720 and he's like, oh, the timestamp was actually reversed. So I looked like a total asshole, like just like, oh, look, it's coming. Nothing was happening. It already
We
happened.
sat there for 40 seconds. It's like waiting after a movie. We're back on movies where you wait for like, oh, they're going to do something after the movie. And then the guy who comes and cleans the theater's like, there's nothing, man. Get the hell out of here.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Yeah, brutal. All right, so let's get to our final. You said we have one more voicemail from Ninja?
We do. We do. I just gotta now find that tab. There we go.
Yeah. I'm getting bullied.
I mean, you
all
asked
good. We
for
have an
it.
off
You
day. I'll
literally
recover
asked
tomorrow.
for it. You're like, can somebody find that?
That's true.
If Alex
I
is in the
stuffed
comment
myself
section,
in the locker.
yes, he's always going to find it. Always. That's
Yeah.
actually insane how easily he found. I don't even understand that. How would
Neither.
he have found that?
Alex is different.
I don't even know how he found. Did he use AI? Find me the video where Gary's desk just implodes or whatever the hell it was, or the shelf. Anyway, amazing. Ninja Hot Dog.
What's up, Gary and Jake? I'm making this during the stream because I forgot that it was the end of the series, so you guys may not see it.
We see
But
it.
either way,
You see
the
it?
Yankees won the series again. Overall, it was just definitely offense again, but once again, the bullpen has shown that they are incompetent. Elmer Rodriguez had a bit of a shaky debut, not great. However, it was only 2 runs, so not too bad, but he did get some walks. He did hit a guy. However, it was his first game ever, so, really he could have been nervous or whatever. So we'll see how he continues to do. I hope he does well. We're going to be at the game on Friday. We are very excited for that. We're going to see Volpe's return. Hopefully he does well. I don't think he will. I'm really hoping that we stick with Cabby. Cabby is great. He got another hit today. Another hit for Cabby. I think Cabby and Rice right now are my favorites. So that's how I feel right now. But overall, I'm glad that we won the series. I feel like we're back to the form that we were at beforehand, before our 6-game loss or whatever. So yeah, fire Baboon, fire Cashman, House, sell the team. Fire every umpire.
We appreciate you, Ninja.
Appreciate it, Ninja. Yeah, it was an ugly finale, but I think
Yeah.
is on it here. It's about what we did most of the time. That's who we are. Not today. So if this becomes a trend, then we can complain about it. But today was a dud offensively. It happens. It's baseball. As long as it doesn't carry over into the next series, we've got a day off. I'm ready to enjoy the day off. I mean, my goodness, we get a Thursday day off, and then we're back in business Friday. Who we playing on Friday, by the way?
So Friday they're playing the Orioles, I believe.
Okay. So
Yeah.
Baltimore. All right.
Yeah, I mean,
Interesting series.
I'm actually a little different. So when it comes to sports, I don't love playing my rivals. I see them all the time. I like playing new teams. It's actually why I'm a big fan of the NL. The revamped schedule, getting to play everybody. Because I like interleague play shouldn't just be like 1 week. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I wonder if they do that just simply from travel purposes, but I'm not really sure.
Well, no, it's
But-
not like that anymore. It used to be.
Yeah,
Now you play everybody. So
yeah.
I like that. I think that's a
Oh
cool
yeah,
thing that they
interleague
added.
play. That's what they called it. Yeah.
Yeah, they were like, oh, we have the week of interleague play. It's like, wait, so you're telling me it's that big of a deal to separate
Mhm.
like the two, conferences, if you will? I mean, it's kind of stupid.
They
when you
made
think
it
about
seem like you were playing a team from Japan because
They
the Yankees
did.
are playing the Dodgers for a Saturday and Sunday.
And
that
by the
was it.
way,
like
that was back when the pitcher was hitting in the NL. That's why it was such a big deal. Now there's nothing. They both have the DH. So it's like actually just stupid if you think about it. Like not to have to have interleague play. That's why they don't anymore.
it didn't make any sense that teams, the AL had a DH and the National League didn't. You
I know,
get to
so
the World
AL
Series and
has
whoever's
a
playing at
advantage.
home. Yeah. And then all of a sudden you're playing at home and like we're playing Philadelphia and they're like, yeah, Hideki Matsui is coming off the bench in the games in Phil. Like, I don't know if you guys remember that, but that's what happened.
Yeah.
Like Andy Pettitte had a game tying hit to opposite field where
Which
Nick
nobody
Swisher,
wanted to watch.
nobody wanted to see that. And everyone's like, that was sick, man. Andy Pettitte tied the game and Nick Swisher went sliding into home and tied this baseball game. That was great. I'm like, that's not what people come to the field to see. They come to watch Andy Pettitte pitch. They came to watch Nick Swisher hit, not any of this crap. And then all of a sudden we go home and Hideki Matsui is our DH and he's like the MVP. What are we doing? That was though. Some rules needed to change. That was one of them, Jake.
Yeah, no, it's silly. I mean, you play 162 games. You should be playing everybody at that point. So yeah, Will Warren is on the hill for tomorrow. Well, tomorrow now because we're on the East Coast here.
So we'll say Friday.
Yeah, Friday. So Will Warren's on the hill. 259 ERA, 3-0, 1.15 WHIP. Not bad, right? 37 strikeouts and 31 1/3 versus undecided, who I've heard some really good things. I don't know. I don't know about you, but undecided's been pretty good this year, it sounds like. So we'll see what ends up happening. All jokes aside, though, the Orioles don't know who the hell they're pitching. So
couldn't be a good thing. And sometimes that means young pitcher. So,
this is back at the stadium, by the way. This is not Camden. I just want to make that clear.
Oh, you don't want to hit a ball 500 feet to left and it's an out?
I love that you brought that up. It's so stupid. They're like, yeah, we're going to move our fences. It's whatever.
That was ridiculous. They're like, no, it's too much of a hitter's park. It's 410 feet to left field. I'm like, no one's hitting that ball out. So they had to move it in, of course.
They finally moved it in. Yeah, that was dumb.
Wait, hold on. What's going on here? I see people in the comment section. Hold on a second. No way.
Oh, let's go.
So is this Devon? Thank you. So 1777 says, guys, I'm getting married Saturday. I'll miss the shows for the first time in a long time. I'll miss everybody. Let's go Yankees. Congratulations, my man. Best decision you'll ever make. Congrats to you and your fiance and now future wife. That should be awesome.
We love
Very
that.
exciting. Very exciting for you. So yeah, we're going to definitely miss you. Obviously having you in the live chat. You're here all the time.
We appreciate it.
I literally was just telling somebody, I was like, I could name you 50 names that like
We're
someone was asking me how
better
many,
because YouTube did add the stupid, handles, but we're getting better at like getting to remember people again.
We should have the authority to change it on our own. But guys, how about this? How about in the no way.
Stop
One of
messing
the
with my
funniest
authority.
My authority. Guys, in the comment section, I appreciate everybody who's in the live chat congratulating Devon for the eventual marriage here. Drop in the comment section before you go.
Chat EBT.
Congratulations. No chat. No, don't bully me. Don't use this opportunity. We've got a wholesome moment here.
Yeah, you're just trying to dodge it because you knew.
Yeah, I do.
You knew you were the comment. Oh, man.
I'm on
so
my
funny.
moral high ground right now. Let me be on it. Devon, everybody make sure you congratulate him. He'll miss the show on Saturday, but he's got much more important things to be doing. Yeah, chat EBT is diabolical. I completely agree.
Fine, chat CBD.
But make sure you congratulate Devon in the comment section for getting married Saturday. And if you want to make fun of me, you can attach it as well. I'll accept it. I'll allow it.
Bonus
make sure
points.
You congratulate him. Yeah, it'll be bonus points. And again, guys, if you're new here, make sure you subscribe, hit the bell icon. Thank you to our sponsorship and Prize Picks, obviously, sponsoring us for the entire year, Jake. But yeah, drop a congrats. And before they go, like this video. But